Good evening, my compatriots, brothers and sisters. See, normally I wouldn't even come at things like this. I really don't feel one way or the other. I mean, I feel one way or the other, but I don't verbally express it, and I damn sure don't project it so that way it can be something that people seek to use against me ever. But it dawned on me the other day, or this morning, while I was engaged in activities that are very Demetrius like, that we're dealing with some secret agent coon motherfuckers out here. And they're not the exact kind that you think. See, it's a special thing when you can make a person believe that what it is that you're impressing upon them is true, righteous, and correct. It's a hell of a thing to make people believe that what it is that they're saying to you, what's being said to them, is not in any way, shape, or form incorrect, incoherent. It is, to me, it's exactly the opposite. It's circumspect to know that the coherent. Um, People need you to know that whatever you're saying is not just on point, but you're not trying to lie to anybody about nothing. There's no you're not looking to get over. You get what I'm saying? So when I tell you something like Pan Africanism, no matter what they want to call that, no matter what they want to say that is one of the biggest jokes that they ever played on black people, right? And what Pan Africanism does is it says all these people that are involved in the diaspora of slavery, right? No matter where they were at, no matter how it occurred, some way, shape, or form, if these people came from Africa, and whether before it happened or not, and they were enslaved, they're all somehow brethren and sisters. The idea with this is that a person believes that they are dealing with brethren or sister. Um, it's dangerous. It's dangerous because if you're not dealing with brethren or sister, and you have aligned yourself as such, when they betray you, you will only see them as brethren and sister who have betrayed you, not as someone who was already your sworn enemy. However, let's just get to the notion at hands of the super coons that we're dealing with. See, we're dealing with super coons who will tell you that they are black people first, yet somehow all people find those who are the miscongeniation of copulation to be the most attractive people. And that I find disconcerting because one of the needed biological um, pools, we'll say, one of the collective forces of genetics is that of someone who looks or what they call like a Negro, not an African, not an Aboriginal, but a Negro. The man who has woolly hair that is coarse, yet it is not so tightly wound down to his heads that they look like little beads, and the course of his growth is stunted. No, I'm not talking about the Aboriginal who has naturally looser, curlier hair that looks coarse, but upon closer examination, it is hair that is much easier managed than one with said coarse hair. The Negro with coarse hair, with curly hair, when they mate with people with non-coarse hair, they create these babies with curly hair. Every once in a while, we're dealing with people who are not of that. What up, y'all? How y'all doing? But we're dealing with people who are telling us that the most beautiful people, the most attractive people are those that are of a biological effort of copulation that is unnatural. And yet, and yet, who will tell you that they are a black first type person. Their mentality is geared towards black people. My mentality is geared towards black people, so much so that I know people find you to be the most exotic and attractive amongst all the people on this planet. I have had many of people tell me that you are the most beautiful, from the white man to the Asian man to the islander man. I have had many people tell me they believe that our people are the most beautiful for whatever reason. Do they feel that their people are beautiful and lovely? Of course. And by default, they will say that their people are that in their mind. But if they had to give true value and merit to an actual group of people, overall, they would say that the black race are the most beautiful people. That's just what they say. And do I go out of my way to say that? No. I don't feel the need to badger people with that. I'm glad y'all are doing great, y'all. That's excellent. But I do feel the need to tell people what it is and what it ain't. Because what it ain't mixed people that are the most attractive. It's people that are mixed with the black genetics that are the most attractive. And then in particular, it's a certain kind of black genetics that they find the most attractive. So the secret agent coon and secret agent coons that you're going to be dealing with, that you're going to be seeing, this is why you see some of these guys promoting so hard people that aren't really black as black. You know, this is why they try to put off these dudes like Chris Brown and J. Cole. And I use them and the Drakes. I use them and the Steph Currys and the Klay Thompsons. And I use them, no offense. I mean, you know, and the Nip Hustles who are African, right? Who don't grow nigga hair. His hair grows straight like that for real. The whole point is this. People will use these other characters as the prop ups, but yet we'll talk about the black struggle. But these people are not subject to the black struggle. They're not. They're not, nor have they ever been. They would have to have been born somewhere and in a time where in which white people found them to be just as hateful as blacks. That's the only way. It's the only way. The only thing that's going to happen whenever you put somebody as the face of something who's not that is that you're going to get confusion. So the man is saying that the most attractive people to all the men are mixed women. And the ire of the black woman is naturally stirred up. But the idea, the question I have is this, is why do people who come from other countries go out of their way to look for people who are like them when they get here? They very rarely do you find someone who comes to America and the first thing they do is settle with a foreigner or someone who would be considered an outsider, not just based on their ethnicity, right on, but also their culture. So you would find I have a hard time believing a person from, let's say, Gambia is going to come to America and go out of their way to marry a Chinese person when they could have married somebody Chinese in Africa. They could have stayed on the continent of Africa, probably in Gambia, and married a Chinese or sought after a Chinese. But so why would you come to America to do that? You see what I'm saying? It's an unrealistic notion. And it's an even more unrealistic notion that people want you to believe that a mixed person who's mixed with just Chinese and no, not black. Listen, when I say not black, people who can't show you that they have a shred or iota of black genetics in them. Their people aren't dark skinned, nothing. Okay. Those kinds of people, when they mix and make children, people aren't fawning all over them. People don't chase all after them. People chase after the mulatto girl. People chase after the mulatto boy. That's who they chase after, with the light green eyes or the grayish type eyes or the really light hazel eyes. That's who they go after. Okay, this is who they're fawning after. This is who they're fawning over. So I find it awkward that a man would say that those people are the most attractive, but yet they are a genetic abomination. That is a fucking coon. If I ever saw one, I would never tell you that I promote black anything and then come around and tell you out of my mouth that what other people thought and compiled information of, that they thought these people were more attractive. than the men or women in our group. I would never do that. That goes against the viability of my claim of being for my people. So when you have someone who can speak to the level and to the effort where they reach out to the masses in great number, you have to be concerned when you see these things. It has to concern you. You have to be ever concerned when people bring to the forefront as their catalyst of argument, as their catalyst of speech, that they're actually what's the word I'm looking for? They're they're here to support and not to hurt. The case in point. Let's just read this real quick, so that way people don't think I'm trying to pull one over. It says, "Look, Pan African Conference, Westminster Town Hall on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th July 1900. This conference is organized by a committee of the African Association for the discussion of the native races question and will be attended and addressed by those of African descent from all parts of the British Empire, the United States of America, Abyssinia, Liberia, Haiti, etc. You are cordially and earnestly invited to attend." Listen, conferences morning, 10:30, evening, 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. H.S. William, Honorable Secretary, 139th Palace Chambers, Southwest. However, check this out. When you read that and it says native races, that's because they didn't even know how Black people look different, but they probably had the mind to say, okay, all of us don't look the same. But they believed somehow that they all were the same. And because science, once again, Secret Agent Coon is going to buy out to the science, they're going to believe that scientifically they can explain these genetic differences somehow, and they can't. It's impossible. Once again, let me just pull up a picture of one of my favorite villains all time. When I say all time favorite villains, this guy, he takes the cake. And I don't think he does it all by himself, but he most definitely does it with he does it with very little regard to the people, you know, and it's just direly unfortunate. You know, it's just direly unfortunate. One second. Screen share. It's not one of my natural pictures, so I gotta just pull it up from the internet file it's on. Yeah. Okay. Let's give it just a little. This is of one Wally D. Ford, Wally Fard Muhammad. His name is Fard Muhammad. This is who he is. This is that man. And that man has made it to where people worship this guy named Farrakhan now, right? And the reason why I'm talking about him first, because this is a damn prison mugshot. So, and the reason why I talk about Secret Agent Coon, now once again, this is the importance of it. It's because we have people who aren't even Black who promoted this whole nonsense of Blackness, but yet they're in a position of superior. Right. How are you superior to the people that you're saying you're inferior to? How are you placed in a position of leadership to these people? Why would you not naturally take the back seat to them? Once again, super coon, because, you know, the white man's ice is always colder and his grass is always greener. So they don't understand that when they say things like, oh, the mixed people, this guy claimed he was Black. We know this dude ain't Black. I can show you all kinds of pictures. I'm going to show you a couple more of them in a second. We know this dude ain't Black. But it's just one of those things where he has the ability to say that, because this is back in a time where people didn't know what was Black. People couldn't say what is Black. There was no true conception of that. One moment. Share. Damn. Let me make sure it's big enough. Okay. I think it is, but let me just blow it up just a little bit. Tad bit. Bam. Bam. So look, these gentlemen, the one who is right here is the same man that was in that mugshot. That's Mr. Ford Muhammad. This is Elijah Muhammad, Elijah Poole. And this is one Louis Farrakhan, aka Louis Walcott. Now, the reason why this is so important, the reason why this is so big is because once again, people who look like Farrakhan, Farrakhan is mixed, and this man that you're looking at right here is his father. That is his father. However, Farrakhan, the mixed man, the mulatto thing, the mamzer, given a position over the people, within the people, because he told the people how special they were. Once again, Elijah Poole, the same thing. People who are passing for black but are not really black, given the position over the people, never give the people the actual true direction that they need to make a difference. These are the worst case abominations, and they are Secret Agent Coon at his finest to tell you how cool and how wonderful black people are, but yet these other people are better than you still. If that's not a coon, I don't know what is. Why are you, once again, if you're only really worried about black people, why would you even compare people who've never had a black struggle to black people? It doesn't make sense. How are you going to compare the attractiveness of a person whose hair doesn't coil up tightly to the attractiveness of a person whose hair that lays down flat? Oh, thank you. Appreciate, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate, brother, trying to take care of my little hair while it's still on my head. But no, as I was saying, though, the most hurtful thing is that we have this whole idea that as long as I talk about black people and I say that the white man is oppressing them, I can still put these other groups above them. And this is what Secret Agent Coon has been doing now for the last few years. See, if you listen to all the coons would say something like this: oh, black people are being oppressed. But then you have one side who's like, well, I don't care who you sleep with, so long as you understand that black people are, are under siege. And then you have another side that's like, well, I do care who you sleep with. And I do care, that you understand that black people are under siege. And then you have this other side where like black people are playing victim. And I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care who you want to be, with. And black people are no longer under siege, and it's all in their heads. And this is just a total mind fuck they're playing on themselves. Then you have black people on the other side of that, who feel like black people, once again, are still playing a victim role, but they are victimized to a certain extent. But some of these things they bring upon themselves, right on. And unlike the first party, they don't absolve people of their wrongdoings. You see what I'm saying? They say, actually, this group is wrong for this, and we as a people should hold ourselves accountable more for this. But look at this dude right here in his hand. This little guy right here. This is Fard Muhammad. I'm about to pull up a little article where they're calling this dude God. Right on. Bam. The white man is God of the of the Islamic cult. It's too much. 1 second. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Bam. Bam. Bam, bam. Look at this. Now, I want y'all to understand something. Two things. Number one, for them to say white man is God for cult of Islam, right? And then I can't really make out the year here, but it looks like it's August something 19 whatever, but it's all blurry. But it says reveal Eli Muhammad's Allah as Turkish ex-agent for Hitler. Now, the reason why this is so huge is because Islam is practiced in Turkey, okay? And it's a Turkic faith. The Islamic faith is known as a Turkic faith. So what are the chances that somebody from the motherland of Islam is the guy that brought it to America, and he's actually an agent who they believe was working with this dude Hitler? Can anybody scratch their head on that one, figure their head on that one out? How that could even be a feasible conclusion? And I'm gonna draw together how this is super coon all the way. So once again, this is the same dude. They allowed this dirty bastard to come in, lay up with black women, give an unknowable amount of black women children, and send those fucking mamzer babies back out to us, where we have to fend for them, take care of them, things like that, pay for it with our blood. Good evening, brother. And nobody wants to say that's what it is. You know, that these people have been put on a pedestal above us. You know, and they're not even us. And they're not even us. And Secret Agent Coon is trying to get everybody to get comfortable with that. Like, Secret Agent Coon's job right now is to try to get you to believe that the mixed mamzer thing is your fucking representative. This is why I've been stressing it lately, because I keep seeing it more and more and more and more and more, where they're trying to push these people off as black. They're trying to push them. They're not black, yo. They're not. They're not. They're not. Ain't nobody gonna tell me that somebody who don't have the same exact physical appearance as me, physical descript as me, is a black person. Okay? They're just not. I'm not having it. I'm not going out like that. And ain't nobody gonna sit here and tell me that people who look like what's the word? People who look like just I'm not trying to be rude, but they look like genetic experiments. They look like experiments, dog. They look like, because I mean, let's just be 1,000. We've all seen mixed people that are fucking buckled. You feel me? Ugly as fuck. So I just have a hard time believing that these are the people that you need. I mean, first off, you don't got to listen to me. I could throw out some names right now. You go listen to all these dudes, and at least in one of their videos, if you just listen to 2 or 3 of them, they're gonna present to you these things that I'm saying. You don't have to believe me. They're gonna do it. Okay. All right. They don't promote LeBron James over Steph Curry. Okay. Why? I don't know. Why I don't know. Why I don't know. I couldn't tell you that. Okay, when it was brothers who made the game of basketball what it is, brothers. Before they was allowed to just be laying up with white chicks and giving them babies and then allowing their little mixed baby. People have it all wrong. Secret Agent Coon wants you to believe once again that the people that come from your loins, right on, to and from other people's loins, right, are the best thing happening, and that they're better than you. They're going to say that, oh, because half of their genetic background is from a culture that is still intact, this gives the child a better chance to survive and thrive in this environment. I want you to listen to these things, but they're not going to say that, oh, the culture of black people was totally diminished and destroyed. They're not going to say that. They don't have the heart to say that. So I just find it amazing that, once again, we're going to be stuck like Chuck. Such a large audience to drop large amounts of cash to pay. Well, I mean, I'm not sure what that has to do with I mean, bro, but them getting paid, but hear what I'm saying though, bro. That's them getting paid is nothing. There's people getting paid on YouTube who are brothers and sisters, right on, who aren't doing any of that. They don't even approach the black issue. They're doing stuff that's totally unrelated, dog. You wouldn't know what these people felt about the black issue unless you asked them. All right. There's people who have made this their bread and butter. All right. And they make it a point to promote. Once again, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, man. Like, they're going to say that a dude who is like this, one moment, we'll pull up some pictures real quick, is the creme de la creme, is somehow better. And I mean, I just have to just kind of just freaking scratch my head. And while I work my way to the picture, you're gonna be like, well, I don't see your issue with it, but then you'll get the issue once I start to break down just the slight differences in how we look as people. Bam, right here. So let's look at this guy right here, right? Who is, oh, 1 second, hold on, I'm not sharing it just yet. Share. I have to pick somebody who's actually attractive so that way people will understand my point. So look at this individual, attractive individual, but we can tell just by looking at his hair right now, right on, that you're mixed with something. So he's gonna say that this dude is more attractive than black men in general. Please, that's nonsense. That's nonsense. He's gonna say that a woman who has these same type of features, a woman of the same exact caliber of looks, right on, and the same all that is better than any sister. Hold on, give me one moment. Let me pull up a picture of an actual brother now, right on, who I will say is fair in looks, and then hold on, and he's gonna have his own little green eyes going on. One moment. Application window. Bam. Bam. This brother. Right here. So once again, if they're going to tell me that they think that the last dude is more attractive than this brother, that would be that's all preference based. But I know there's a lot of chicks who would be at this dude just because he's black. And that right there makes him way more exotic than the mixed guy. Way more. Because he's actually he's really black. He's not just kind of sort of. Right on? And he's got the eyes and all that stuff. So this is just one of those things where I, as a person, take deep offense to any man or woman who's going to tell me that my people. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? How you doing, sister? I'm just going to take I take grave offense to anybody who's going to say about my people that this isn't, or they are not. You are black people. You are beautiful black people. And if you get insecure about something, that's because we were taught these insecurities by this nation, by these people. We've been surrounded by enemies for hundreds of years. Hundreds. Okay? And these same secret agent coons are going to keep propagating, keep promoting, keep spewing the same nonsense to our people that the mixed guy is better than you. Because that's pretty much what they're trying to say. When they say that, oh, the mixed girl they think that she's more attractive or whatever to every man across the board. And I'm just like, once again, who collects this data? You know, I was on a hangout. I won't expose the gentleman because he acted very childish. He kicked me off. He kicked me off the panel. And it was just awkward because, you know, once again, I normally play fly on the wall. I don't normally get involved in these types of things, but it's just very important to address the situation as it happens, because many times we deal with people who, once again, they don't actually deal in the things that they're talking about. So I'll give you a prime example. There's people who they're married to white women and anything other than a black woman, but yet they talk about how black women act. They don't have any black children, not one. And they don't even want any black children. So I just find it awkward that people who don't have actual black children, who can't, they won't even show you that they're a real black person. can open their mouth and speak these sort of things as if they're truths, undeniable truths, and then tell you to cite a source. My source are my two fucking eyes. The best source that I have, bitch. But anyway, it's just one of those things where you have to understand that people are so stupid and so benign in their thought that they would really rather tell you something like they believe, hold on, listen, they believe based on a poll that this is true. But what do they believe what their eyes tell them? What do they believe with how they feel? And this is why I'm always trying to separate us from everybody else, because all black people aren't the same. So my bearded black man self, I don't feel like the non-bearded black man is going to feel the same way I feel about not wanting to mingle with people who aren't the same. They might be more willing. Some of this excess coconut oil off of me, but they might be more willing to give into an amalgamate. You know, there's a lot of brothers who obviously look just like me who are in mixed relationships. But every time I see those guys, once again, I can't stress it enough. Those dudes aren't walking around there with their chest all poked out as if their little baby girl or their little baby boy is better than an actual black person. You know. Good evening, Martin. Oh yeah, the morons and the unlearned. Oh, it was going down. See, but it was just funny that I had dropped that. I had uploaded that video, right? And then like after I uploaded it, I had went and sat and I was watching this hangout live, and then all of a sudden, you know, like I was just hearing stuff that I didn't agree with about what I didn't agree with at first was just about how boys who go to all boys schools or singularity schools have better discipline than young men who go to co-ed schools or whatever. And this is from a person whose view is coming from the UK. So I mean, that's the UK. If that's true to the UK, I can't argue that. I've never lived there. So but as far as America's concerned, you know, I know that people who are raised in singularity schools as opposed to co-ed schools, they don't normally fare better because they don't know how to act around the opposite sex. So these are normally the people who act the stupidest around the opposite sex. People who were raised in co-ed environments, they've been around women or they've been around men. So they're not thoroughly impressed and they're not going out of their way for all that. But Secret Agent Coon, let's just get back to Secret Agent Coon real quick. So I want y'all to go watch a couple cats, you know what I'm saying? After this, you know, I'm gonna throw a few different names out there. So that way you get like a healthy dosage of some of the people that I'll take on. Number one of my favorite people to listen to, whenever they do actually. What up, Roger Spice, my brother? I don't always agree with the guy, but the Black Authority, if you can get past him putting black people down and all the name calling, sometimes he actually has some pretty useful information. Sometimes he just says things that you can just weigh into your normal life. That makes sense. Professor Black, once again, he's kind of in that same category. I like to watch LAR Movement. I just like that brother. You know, I like to watch him, listen to him. Once again, everybody's the same. There's things I agree with. There's things I don't agree with. Every once in a while, I'll even entertain a guy like freaking Torian Rain. You know what I mean? And I'll watch what he's laid out there. Your World. I'll listen to that brother every once in a while. I was on BGS's panel. So, you know, fucking angry girl who'll be on this shit. I watch that guy's videos too. Like, once again, I listen to people. If I'm going to say something to you and address you, I'm going to listen to you. Tommy Sotomayor, I'll listen to him every once in a while. I mean, there's so many different people, y'all. I could just keep naming if I actually sit here and thought about it. You know, O'Shea, known to go around there, harass them. There's a bunch of different people I mess with, you know. Oh, here he goes. Here the fuck this guy goes. It's okay. He's okay. Nobody block him. Nobody do nothing. He's all right. But yeah, man, it's just crazy because if you listen to all those different characters, if you just give them a chance, I'm not saying to listen to some of their long-winded addresses, but if you just give them a chance to just speak and just listen to some of the points that they're getting to, they support me. They support me by everything that I'm saying. Because what they'll do is they'll always be like, well, is it okay for black men to date out, or should people even care? Dudes want to use terms like the dick police, right on. I love that one. That's my favorite one. That's when you know that they're really feeling some type of way, and they really are. Those are normally the guys who feel the most shame. You know what I mean? When they start using words like dick police, because they want you, once again, to be secret agent coon. They want you to coon on the same level they're cooning on. They want you to say, hey, I'm all about black people, but you know what, though? Let's amalgamate with the same people who've been destroying us for over 400 years. You understand what I'm saying? That makes absolutely no sense. It doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. So when we talk about people who make absolutely no sense, right? I don't say shit like hold women accountable, but then don't hold women accountable. You'll never hear me say something like that. I will never backtrack like that ever. Okay? I will never tell you something like, oh, um, that Mexican or that Asian or that Islander or that whatever, that loose curly haired African who came in and impregnated your daughter, you just got to accept that. That's just what it is, because this is the society we live in. No, that's madness. It's the same thing if your son goes out there and impregnates one of them. That's madness that you just have to accept that. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have to deal with that person. Okay? And you don't have to accept or believe what a fucking poll says, because a poll of people who you ain't never met said that people with curly hair and green eyes are the most attractive. That makes it true. That makes it reign true. That's nonsense, y'all. That's nonsense. I would never tell you something like that. I would never stand on my freaking 10 toes and 2 feet and try to push something like that onto you. And then say, hey, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Because you're on the panel talking to me because I feel like the conversation we're having isn't going the way that I want it to. Right on? I furthermore wouldn't try to, as a fucking secret agent coon, justify the rape of Aboriginal indigenous blacks by dirty, evil, wicked devils. BGS. BGS. Then this dirty ass bastard tried to put words in my mouth after I was booted off. You know, I left because they blocked me in the freaking super chat. But he tried to say that I said that men and women were sitting here at the same time, and I never said that. I simply said that the white man was raping the Native Americans who were here. Right on? Yet while they still had their own women to deal with. And for a person to try to say, oh, they sent the men first. No shit, they sent the men first, but they sent women and all the other people soon thereafter. So for a person to tell me that a man couldn't wait a couple months or even a year and to be abstinent, that he had to rape the native population, it's like, how do you justify that kind of thinking? You see what I'm saying? And then it's just to go to the fact that this same blood admixture that these people were doing is the same blood mixing that I'm talking about right now, as to why they think that these mixed people look the best, because that admixture, when they add their blood to it again, right? All the people with straight hair, this baby's going to look more like them than not. Right. Why would a guy go get with it? This is why, if they want a black chick, they'll go talk to a black chick. Okay? Because they want their baby to look like it's actually black. But when they just want to be with somebody who looks black, but they don't want their baby to look black, they get with that person. And that's who they give babies to. And Secret Agent Coon, obviously, he couldn't put that together. All right? So, and once again, he's not the only one like this. There's a bunch of Secret Agent Coons. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them. They all exist. You know what I'm saying? They exist on different mediums and levels, but they're real. And you have to appreciate how they're going to do stuff. Now I know normally I would come in with a Sunday address and I wouldn't even let something like this vex me, but it's like this falls right into everything that I be talking about, especially when I'm talking about who represents us. We are our own representatives. You as a black man are the best representation for the black community that there will ever be. You black man, you black woman, and your black children. You are the best representation for us. You dictate how people look at us. Not somebody who's an admixture and has had the pressure of society forcing them to say that they are one of these people, but not by actual true virtue of wholeness or more completeness. And it's a sad thing. It's a sad state of affairs when a man can say to his people that pretty much so that it's okay what the white man does, right? Tried to overlook the fact that the lowest of the seed, the lowest denigrated form of people were sent here first. They sent murderers, prostitutes, hookers, thieves, swindlers, vagrants, bums, all that shit, vagabonds, all of them. They sent them all here first. And yes, they did send men and women together. So when people say shit like that, it's like, you don't even know what you're talking about. You don't even know what you're talking about. You understand what I'm saying? So you're saying that these guys got off a boat. They were on a boat in the water for however long. Then they get here, then they don't have any whatever abstinence they practiced on the boat in the water, if they practiced it at all. Apparently there's just a bunch of gay boy activity going on, because it's like the way the man made it seem as if the sexual energy of a man can't be controlled. And this is where they get this whole black men are hypersexual bullshit. Once again, secret agent coon, promoting and propagating so many different little things at once that you would have to actually be there to see it and then to feel what it is that a person is trying to impose upon you. Hey, bro, am I good for beer? Yeah. Because that's the biggest insult. I would never tell y'all that. I would never tell y'all that. I would never insult nobody like that, because that's, to me, that's just too much. It's just too much. That's just like when they try to say that these super duper people who were like this black, you know what I'm saying, are like where we come from, but they don't yet they don't have no facial hair. And the few who do don't look like the ones who be that black also. They look different than those other ones. So I just think it's weird that the bearded super black dudes don't look nothing like the non-bearded super black dudes. And the bearded brothers don't look nothing like the other brothers that aren't super black. I just think it's weird that people have a hard time acknowledging this. Right on? I think people don't even recognize that when a dude who lacks beard constitution gets a white woman pregnant and has babies by her, their mixed children don't always look the same as the black man with the beard. Mixed children. I promise you, you start looking with your two eyes and pay attention. I live in Seattle. Well, I don't live in Seattle, but I live in Tacoma, work in Seattle. Live in a state where there's a lot of what you call that swirling stuff going on. I mean, there's so much of it. There's probably, I think all the swirling's going on here. So if y'all don't see it where you're at, where you're from, don't worry. It's taking place right here. There's a little mixed baby being made. A black chick letting some non-black man ejaculate into her right now as we speak. Black guy ejaculating into a non-black woman right now as we speak in this state. Believe that. Getting her pregnant or getting pregnant. That's a fact. And these are the same people that man will say are the most attractive. Because you've bred out. Now your baby's more attractive than the original thing? What? What? Because you've added some straight hair essence? They're better than the original now? That's how we're rocking? Is that how we're rocking? Is that how we get it? See, people don't want to hold on to the most basic stuff. Basically, I don't say things that I don't mean. And I'm gonna ride this super secret agent coon shit out till until the last very second that I'm done talking on this address, because this right here is one of those things that y'all have to really get. I had a woman one time who wasn't even black. Do y'all remember the video I did called "The Self-Loathsome Coon"? The expound that I did on that, and I read the lady's comments, and then I tried to pull up a picture of her. That woman is the same look, the same one who called me a self-loathsome coon is the same looking person that this man would feel is most attractive in his mind. Not just what a poll says, because a poll can say that, but I can say that I feel way different. I can say that I don't feel the same. So for people to come at the situation as if that's what it is nonsense. And then let me go ahead and tell you this right here. When your panel turns on you, or they start to turn on you, when guys that would normally have your back don't have your back, and then angry girl comes in out of nowhere when you're kicking me out. It was like it was a staged event. That angry girl was sitting there listening. He didn't want to hop in there and get, you know what I'm saying, chop sueyed up. So what did he do? What did he do? He let BGS send him the email. Yeah, I'm about to boot this guy, and then now hop on, and then now talk trash about him. But it's just like, for you to be such a sucker, you understand what I'm saying? So you feel black man, or so-called black man, angry Mexican, because he calls himself Valdez. So who knows what the fuck he is, really? But he do all that yelling and shit. And this dude, you're saying he must agree with the same thing. He must feel that mixed children, mixed people are more attractive than black children, than black people. And if that's his mentality, once again, these are black people have to understand. These are men that you've ordained as your leaders. You've ordained these men as your leaders. You've said that these people are your voices. That's what the black people have to understand, is that these are people who don't believe that you are actually as dominant as you are. I could pull up pictures right now. I'm not going to look for them because I got thousands of pictures to look through, but I could pull up pictures right now. You know, Dudley, you already know how that is. These guys are never satisfied with who they are. You know, never. Ever. However, I do know that if a peoples are willing to give over their minds, their hearts, and their dividends to a man who will tell them that their women are not as attractive as a baby that comes from, has to have the admixture of their blood. It's a must that black blood is included in this. Otherwise, it's a poll. You couldn't even take that poll. The poll wouldn't even exist. Wouldn't even be real. But once again, how did these mixed people still get here? Between couples who are black and not black. So once again, the black people are the most attractive people for that to happen. But can't nobody feel it. Right, Juan Dudley. Get the fuck out of here. Mexican ass motherfucker. Anyway, dude, yeah. It's just one of those things where that's how I have to just look at it. I have to look at it as these dudes are not to be taken serious. These dudes are to be looked at as enemies of the state, enemies of the people. They are not to be considered in any way friendly. All their actions and activities should be considered hostile. You should treat them with the most vitriol that you can, because they deserve that. Once again, these are the same men who will tell you black people that things that come from you are more attractive than you. How does that work? Did you hear me? People who would not even be in existence if you didn't lay up or get laid up with by somebody of another genetic freaking frequency, and they mean to tell me and you that 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 those people are better than us. And I mean, and I'm salty over that. I am salty about that. I am pissed off. I am pissed off. And I should be. And you should be too. Because these people have 20, 30, 40, 50,000 subscribers. They have, once again, they garner, hundreds of thousands of views a month amongst themselves. They garner, tens of thousands of dollars amongst themselves every month. And yet these same dudes are talking about what the black community can do for itself, but they're parasites. Secret Agent Coon they are the worst common denominator, not just the least, but the worst common denominator. They're the worst. They are the worst. I come and I say things like, hey, black people, we should attempt to just get away from everybody who doesn't want to do what the Most High wants to do. Right. Right. We should not want to be around these people. Right. Even if they are our people. Right. But because there's this mentality that no black gets left behind, Secret Agent Coon plays on that. I don't let people play on stuff like that. I don't. And I never will. And I never will. YouTube can flag this video. Niggas can send their little cronies here to have it flagged eventually. I couldn't care less. I've said nothing that is untrue. Yeah, bro, I would love to separate. It's these same fools who say that integration has not hurt black people. It's these same fools who will say that integration has actually helped black people, but then turn around and say, oh, well, if we had never segregated black people, we'll be way better off. These are the same coons. They're the same coons. You get running water and electricity when you move into the city. Right on. But there's places still in the not just the deep south, but rural Midwest that lack certain dignities. Okay? And these guys couldn't tell you, well, why is that in the age of technology, dog? That they haven't gone out to the middle of no. Right, they play both. Thank you, Roger Spice. That's exactly what I'm trying to say, bro. They play both sides. Thank you. And it's evil and it's wicked. It's Secret Agent Coon fuckery. And people will be like, oh man, bro, you got it all wrong. You're tripping. I really think, you're taking it way out of bounds. You're taking it way out of context. And it's like, am I really? Am I really taking this out of context? Or have you just not put it into full context yet? Have you not said to yourself, hey, these people actually don't care about us? They don't. Their words are empty. Their words are empty. Their words are meaningless. Once again, the only man that I felt last night that actually had any sense on the panel, well, there's a few of them who actually had some sense. After I left, it came together even more because it was the one brother who greeted me that I, who's real cool. I ain't gonna put nobody's name out there because I don't want, just in case Secret Agent Coon sends some of his little inside guys to watch and, dislike the video later on. They're not targeted by this individual for any kind of extra scrutiny that they may have already received. But one Cerulean Gray, because he does not want me to call him Mr. Christian Gray, the heart surgeon. Once again, I will never hesitate to call a person like him a fucking assassin. I won't. Dude, when you play with people's lives, when your job is to cut people's chest open, right on, there's no way he could tell me that he has 100% success rate. People have died while he's had them on the table. People have died. And he's crazy rich and happy, huh? And well, once again, these guys talk all this beta male coon bootleg bullshit all they want. That's the truth. That is the truth. Only one who had sense last night was that man. Like real sense. Because he didn't say anything. He just said greetings and listened. As he listened to the so-called master teacher be told what it was. And then be asked basic questions. And then tried to say that diplomacy does not matter. Diplomacy is your first effort in anything. Oh, of course, though. Of course it is, brother. But it's just he's capable of long-range thought. Cerulean can think for himself. All those guys on that panel could think for themselves. The lady that was on the panel can think for herself. So when you have a person who, once again, tells you that it's an open panel, and this is the setup in the okie doke, another secret agent coon bullshit. At least with O'Shea Duke, O'Shea would tell you that my motherfucking panel ain't for everybody. You can't get on my motherfucking panel, nigga. He'll tell you just like that. At least O'Shea Duke keeps it 1,000 like that, even though there's shit that he does and he says that I can't stand with his little Aboriginal looking ass. But I respect the fact that he will tell you, don't come to my shit trying to tell me what to talk about. Don't come to my shit talking about, let me get on. What up, JP Hope? So I respect whenever a person has that, at least that level of decency. But when you're so indecent that you say that my panel is open, but yet it's not open because now you come and say, oh, well, you can only talk about what I want you to talk about. And as you ask me one question, I begin to answer the question. You ask me another question. So all you're doing is compounding question after question after question without letting me ask or answer the initial inquiry, and then be able to ask you a question to rebuttal your inquiry. Poland does have a lot of caves he can take a nap, and he probably feel right at home. But word is bond, though. Word is bond, because there's a whole lot of cats who don't realize, like, man, I'm not after nobody's ever lasting approval. You know what I mean? I don't need that. All I need is your ear for a moment, so I can put something in your ear. So when you hear the bullshit later on, you can be like, that's that bullshit Meech was talking about. That is that shit right there. That's that shit. That's all I need you to do. That's it. Not Brother Demetrius is just talking out the side of his neck because he don't know what he's talking about and he's angry. No, that's nonsense, y'all. That's crazy. I want y'all really to start thinking about all these, because I know if you're like me, I like to listen to black people. I like to watch black people on the screen. Right on? I enjoy that. So I like to hear a black person's point of view. Even when I don't agree with them, I like to listen to them. You might think that's weird, but why is it weird to want to listen to your people? Why is it weird to want to see your people? So I would rather want to listen to somebody who's even, maybe if they're not my people, they still look more like me than they don't. They still feel more like the ways about things that I do than they don't. You're still under the same umbrella oppression that I am, and they're not. You see what I'm saying? Those are the people that I'm looking for. And I don't mind listening to something that I don't agree with, because every once in a while, people compress a piece of coal and they make a diamond. Every once in a while, they do this. And I'm looking for the diamonds. I'm looking for the jades, the gems, the emeralds, the carbuncles, all of it, the amethyst. That's what I want, okay? I'm not looking for nothing else. I'm not looking for dirt. And if I want dirt, I want healthy soil that I can plant seeds inside of, so that way it can yield something. I don't want sand. Right. That's right. Exactly, bro. Right. Man, thank you. I'm just waiting for brothers to get it together, because it's just going to take a little more maltreatment from the system for these people to realize that we only have the Most High. We only have our God. The same God that our ancestors we're so quick to turn their back on is the same God that we're going to have to steadily and earnestly seek after. That's it. That's the only option. And they never give that option. That's never talked about. You know, there's no clear consensus. This is why all these dudes are secret agent coon, because they don't even have one voice about what it is that the black community should be trying to do. As if we don't have enough problems. You got guys who, once again, they want to talk about people being, you know, the growing police. You know what I mean? They get mad about it. You're mad because people are worried about what you allowed to be put into your vagina, or where you take your penis and put it. But yet, you don't want to accept that these same children are not treated as black people. And a lot of the time, once they get to a certain level of status, they don't act as black people. They don't identify as black people. I'm not black. I'm just American. I don't want to be called black. Don't call me that. Right. I'm not black. I'm OJ looking ass motherfuckers. So when we're going through that kind of stuff, the last thing we need is for there not to be one voice. The voice has to be one consent. I heard a dude, once again, I want to say it was O'Shea Duke. He had a chick in his freaking panel the other day talking about it doesn't need to be a monolith. It doesn't need to be one voice. There needs to be dissenting voices. And I'm like, this is a woman. This is the problem with women right here, is that you allowed this chick to get on your panel and spew chaos into the air. There needs to be one voice, one consent, only one mind to the people, nothing else. Group think is what it needs to be. We all need to be on the same page, the same wavelength, operating with the same frequencies. It's the only way. Otherwise, secret agent Coon will be successful. He will not fail. She will not fail. Let's talk about the she's for a moment. And I don't even care to name the chicks, no offense, because there's so many of them who do the same thing. They either have their natural hair and they still dish it out to black men. And the only black women that they normally dish it out to, depends on what side they stand on. Once again, this is the same thing about one voice, is you have the black women who wear weaves and don't wear weaves, who don't care for the swirlers. And then you have the other side of that. So, and then you have all these people in the middle who are mixed race, giving their two fucking pennies about it. Okay. And the most awkward thing is that all these people in the middle always have the funniest things to say. Okay. The first thing that I always notice that the mixed race people say is that they're always like, you know, black people got to try to stop saying that, you know, this or this isn't black enough. No, what they're trying to tell you is that if you were full black and you did the same shit you had just did, the reaction you would have gotten is totally different. And because you can't accept that, you want to argue with a black person. But back to what the chicks say, in particular, about the dudes, or about how they conduct themselves. They, you know, I don't even give a fuck about this whole building and not building. I could care less. Couldn't care less. What I care more about is that women are always worried about the black man is breeding out to get with the white woman because he doesn't want to be with the black woman. You know what I'm saying? But what it is that, like, he's just tired of just listening to the bullshit. And I understand that. But at the same time, I don't condone the behavior of leaving your people to fend for themselves. I don't condone that. So it's just like, I see the legitimate arguments. I understand them. But at the same time, when you have chicks who are supposed to be pro-black, sucking and fucking white boys and everybody else, right on, and you got black guys getting sucked and fucked by all these other people, it beckons you to ask the question of, where are they actually going to wake up and realize that they're the problem? They are the problem. They continue to hold hands with the same very people that we're trying to get away from. They don't want to break fucking ranks from these people. So therefore, they'll never see the issue with what they're doing. If they were all by themselves to fend for themselves amongst these motherfucking mongrels, they would feel different. they would feel different. If the nation of nigga was a name and it was a place and we lived there and they didn't, they would be feeling the fucking heat right now of the wicked decisions that they're making. But they're lucky that that nation don't exist. Blessed that it don't exist. Because they're never held to any kind of form of accountability. They get to die and go to the grave and think that they were right until they come back and get judged. How wicked is that? Right, that's wickedness. You have to have a sick mentality to operate like that, to be like that, to think like that. And you have to be even more sick. Right, bro? They would be murdered in a short time. They would be dead. And there's no question about it. It's a fact. So when you have these people who have this mindset, you know, to keep telling themselves that, oh, we're better than, equal to, whatever, than these folks, it only makes you wonder, well, if you're really better than white people, or if you're really equal to white people, why do you hold their hand so much? Why do you want to be with them so much? Right on? See, I've been in situations where I've needed people before, and there was nobody there but a whole bunch of white people. So inherently, a white person is going to help you. Right. Does that mean that does that mean that all white people are good, or he or she is just an individual who was helpful? Do you get what I'm saying? Do you follow me? Because I would never tell you, once again, that people who are lighter hue of skin with straight hair and funny colored eyes are going to be more helpful to you than black people are. Because I dare you right now. See, this is the whole thing. They paint Chicago as this place that you don't want to be, and rah, 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 rah. If you were in Chicago and you say, bruh, man, I know I shouldn't be out at this time of night fucking around. I don't mean to bother nobody, but check me out, man. I ain't got no motherfucking money. I'm trying to get from here to here. Can you help me out, brother, man? Or do you know a way I can make some change? Killer nigga or not, in Chicago, is he gonna give it to you straight. He gonna say some shit like, hey man, get the fuck away from me, nigga, I don't know you, type shit. Or he gonna reach around to his pocket, he gonna scrounge up some change and shoot that to you. Or he gonna let you know, hey man, you go up the street, hang a left, hang a right, and there's a free bus line that you can hop on. They gonna know what's up. But you go into the middle of Silicon Valley at 3 a.m., walking around as a black man, black woman, looking for directions. Right on? You are about to be in some fucking shit. And there's no argument there. So whenever Secret Agent Coon wants to tell you that these other people who are a byproduct of you are better than you in any way, shape, or form, this is because they fare better with the dominant society. If everybody else outnumbers you on the planet, if I don't want to say that I think black women are outright attractive, the next best thing to a black woman is the biracial admixture of black and whatever blood. It doesn't matter what the blood is now, so long as they have the dominant features that black people have, the darker skin, the curly hair now, right? You know, and they like when a mixed girl doesn't have the European features like super little noses. They love it. They love when she looks like a black person. Right. You people crack me up. Not you, but you get what I'm saying. The Secret Agent Coons. They crack me up. Because these dudes put their cape on, right? As if, once again, they're fighting for black people. But the whole time, though, their white granddaddy, not their white daddy, their white granddaddy is the one that they're representing. Because they're going to be in defense of all the wicked actions that they've done, as if the time period makes it okay. As if as if the difference in mentality makes it okay. They were talking about student-teacher relationships. I said that people who engage in that sort of conduct are predators, and I don't give a fuck what time what time frame, period, whatever, because I've never read in the Bible that Hebrews went to a so-called school. I've never garnered that kind of understanding. So when a person who was raised in a society like this can't detach themselves from the mindset and thinking of this society to say, you know what, I was raised to think this way. So what in the Bible? Men were super old and they had young wives. This is not this. That was then. This is now. That was then. This is now. And for a person to try to act as if that's not a crucial factor is a disrespect and an insult to the mind, and it's intellectually dishonest. And another thing that it is that it also beckons the question, you know what I mean, your own personal conduct and activity and said in such manner. Because they were talking about the women and the men who were having sex with these little boys and little girls, right? And he was like, as long as the boy was 14, it used to be okay. Didn't nobody really say nothing. And he was like, way back in the day on the continent, long ago, pretty much, it was kind of a thing where teachers would might get involved with a 13-year-old girl and then wait till she was 15 to marry her. And it's like, who okays that? What kind of person would okay that? What kind of person who is healthy in their mind would say, you know what, you grown ass man, I want you to deflower my little girl and plot on my little daughter because she's beautiful, more beautiful than all the other little girls type stuff. Man, that's nonsense. That's sick and that's wicked. And Secret Agent Coon is the type of motherfucker to okay that. My mama's mom, her stepdad, right? You know what I mean? So her mom's husband, so my mom's husband, my grandmother's husband, this dude was like 20 years older than her, 20-something years older than her. You know what I mean? Chicken hawk. People can feel how you can feel however you want to feel. You can say, oh, that was the times back then, this, that, and the other. Would you want somebody who's 20 years older than your sister, or 20 years older than your cousin, or somebody that you care about dearly, or than your daughter, dating your daughter or your sister or your cousin or whatever? No, you would not. Fuck no, you wouldn't. I don't give a fuck how much money they have, how much substance they have, none of that. You want them to be with somebody their age so that way they can be enjoyed to their fullness and not just be lusted after because of how they look and their youth. So this is just one of those things where people don't even respect nothing. No respect. Secret Agent Coon will tell you some shit like that. Secret Agent Coon with a straight face gonna tell you, I don't pretty much see the problem. And then he gonna tell me to tone that shit down. Told me to tone it down because I called teachers who seek to use their position of authority as to lay up with children. Predators, because they are fucking sexual predators. Told me to tone it down? Man, fuck out of here. You know how sick you have to be to tell a black man to tone it down about the truth? You know what you have to be going through to say, oh, bro, that's not what we need to hear. We don't need to be listening to that kind of stuff. Well, so what do you want your people to hear? That teachers and students having sex together is okay? That's all right? Send your daughters and your sons to school so that way they can get pregnant? Or end up getting pregnant, their teacher, by their teacher, whatever. You see what I'm saying? I just don't get that. I don't understand that whole mind. That's an unhealthy mindset. And once again, Secret Agent Coon is going to get his people killed. Because Secret Agent Coon, once again, I'm going to tell y'all something, y'all, about Secret Agent Coon. Months and months and months ago, before Bitcoin went down, I've been talking about Bitcoin for a couple years now on YouTube, back when I first started doing expounds. But and I always told people, don't trust Bitcoin. I told people I had a chance to buy into Bitcoin when it was $2 a coin a long time ago. I don't think people understand. For me to know that Bitcoin was used to be as cheap as $2 a coin, you have to know that. You know what I'm saying? You have to know that. And he was telling people, you know, if they're going to get involved in Bitcoin, you know, lunch money only. And I was just like, why would you tell people to use their lunch money for some bullshit? Why would you tell people to put their lunch money together to start a small freaking community program in their community for troubled youths if they're really worried about the youths? It's just, these guys don't make any sense. How hard is it to throw a barbecue once a month? A huge one, right? Where no guns are allowed, no none of this, no none of that. We either coordinate with the police or we coordinate with the heads of these gangs. That's it. And I would rather coordinate with the heads of the gangs because they're more likely to keep violence from jumping off than the police. It's just a fact. So I'm talking about like old school block parties. If these guys did these things weekly, maybe these guys wouldn't be killing each other like that. They don't even do house parties no more. They don't even have real parties no more where people just cook. There's just food everywhere, music playing, people are drinking, having a good time. There might be a little scuffle here and there, but there is no gunplay. The motherfucker who starts that gunplay shit, ain't nobody got no problem telling the cops who did it. This is one of those nights where ain't nobody gonna protect you, bro. And it's just one of those things where we as black people have yet to get this kind of mentality back. We used to have it, but we lost it. Trying to be like the white people. Fuck keeping up with the Joneses. They wanted to be white people. They were like, fuck being a Jones. Being a Jones is nothing. Being a Jones is just owning a Cadillac and having a mortgage. That's nothing. A bunch of black people did that. Shit. Time to become the white person now. Time to move on up and bump them off the ladder. And look what it's done for black people. Nothing but destroy us as a people. Nothing. And Secret Agent Coon and his cronies and her cronies will continue to speak venomous lies and misinformation and disinformation to the people, hoping to cause their deaths and then to cry crocodile tears when these people do die. They don't give a fuck about you. All they want is your money. That's it. That's it. They worry about the money that's going to go to the super chat. They're not worried about anything else. That's it. They don't care. They don't care. You have to set up your Patreon with all this stuff to get paid from it. So they can't tell you that it's not about money because they set it up with their account so that way they can get paid here. Can you dig it? In no way, shape, or form can they say that it's not about money. It's about money. It's always going to be about money. Always. It's always going to be about how much money they can make off of you. How much are you worth to them? That's it. It's never going to be, you know what? That brother didn't have no money, but he said something in the super chat section. And you know what? That was huge. Let me go ahead and speak on that. And let me not play favorites with what I'm looking at. Let me read it and say what it is truthfully. Just because somebody doesn't say something that supports what I'm saying doesn't mean that I have to get angry at them. That's just like the knucklehead who came in here talking about Kimbo Slice's long lost son. Look, people like that at first may have like got me off track or whatever, but I've trying to tell y'all, I've been on fuego lately. My focus has been as clear as it has been in years. When I say years, I mean years. And I am driven. I'm driven. And I love it. And I love it. And these people are going to find themselves more and more and more being called out for their wickedness and their backstepping and their fork-tongued devil speaking. Because they are fork-tongued devil speaking to these people. They want everyone to believe, they want black men and women to believe out of their mouths that if they just go look for a job, they'll get one. And these are the same black people that they'll call stingy with the dollar. And if you're a low earning black person, they always want to say that it has something to do with your IQ. But these same black people will tell you that IQ was invented by the Nazis to justify murdering people. These same coons. So understand, you can't trust them. They are not to be trusted. My cousin, we were talking the other day, right? And he says, he's chopping it up with his wife's daughter, his stepdaughter or whatever. And he was like, yeah, man, she was saying this, that, and the other about why she can't, why all her friends have a man and why she doesn't. And he was like, that's because you got your bar way up here. And I'm just sitting there thinking in my head, like, I understand that notion, but sometimes women are single just like men are single because there's no one compatible to and for them. And then he was talking about how, nobody can dictate, who loves you and where you find love, right? And I had to like put it on him. I was like, back in the day, you were only around your tribe for the most part, unless you were like a warrior or a merchant or something like that. You never left the area that your tribe was in. So the only people you were around were people who looked like you, or people who looked like the people that would have made up your tribe, which would have only been so many looks. So you didn't have all these choices of just loving whoever you want. And this is a concept, it's a sickness that only black people have. The Chinaman understands. I'm going to have Chinese babies because I want my Chinese babies to look like me. I don't want them to be treated like a nigger. There's Asians who go out here and have children with black women, and they be all huff and puff and they be all proud of themselves. But once they get to a certain level of their life, their chest sinks in. They just head all down. They're not the same no more because they come to the realization that their son is not going to become the super duper athlete that they thought that he could become. They said, oh, all we have to do is mix with a black woman and we can make our own Tiger Woods. Why do you think they've been making babies with black people for so long? These Hispanic people and these white people, they're trying to make their own versions of the admixtures that we make. No shit, huh? Right. Right. That's why people be like, oh, mixed babies are beautiful. They're just gorgeous. There was a time when I used to believe that mixed children used to have better genetics. And that's because of how they were treated. So I just assumed that genetically they were better because everybody treats them better. But what it is that they're a genetic mutation. Then the fascination with the mixed people is no different than the fascination than that of when the giants were around and all those freaks and natures. The fascination is no different. They're fascinated because they're not supposed to be here. And under normal circumstances, they wouldn't be here. But because people have gone against the alignments of nature and have made what was strange, normal, and taboo acceptable, we are in this situation. Don't nobody want to hear that. But that's why you're listening right now. Because it's true. That's the truth. Otherwise, you'd have been hit the red button, been laid it down, or did whatever you're going to do. What I'm saying right now has the effect of actually being honest. These guys never weigh the shit to you like this. Never. Ever. If I want to, I can pull up any source of information and give credentials to my arguments if I want to about coons, about how dudes have been selling out for so long, and it doesn't matter because who's gonna change it? Me? Of course not. You? Maybe. Maybe one of y'all listening actually got some real political muscle. Me though, I'm just a black man. I've been knowing this for a long time. I've been knowing this for a long time. Okay? I'm just a black man. But I'm a black man who has a lot of sense to say to his people, don't listen to these guys that want us to give up everything that we have. They do. They want us to lose everything that we got, y'all. It is so imperative to them that we have nothing. It is so imperative that we look to, once again, not to ourselves as the causes of our problems, and the way to fix them is to seek what is we know is the truth. The Father, the Most High, the God of Abraham, that being the one who is really in control of everything. There's so much pride, so much arrogance, so much foolhardiness, and these people with head full of steam, they have no sense. None. Yet they think you're crazy because you say, I just want to be with the black woman, or I just want to be with the black man. This is what you say as a black man or a black woman. And there's nothing wrong with that. They say to you, you should just give up on that. That's bullshit. That's racist for you to think like that. For you to only want to be with your people, that's fucking racist. Right. Well, that's outdated thinking, sister. For us to grow as a people and to take back what's ours from the white man, we got to get with those same people. Right. They want you to fucking fold like a little wet blanket and do what the master could never do, which is get you to sign on to your destruction with no arguing. Y'all think it's a coincidence that blacks in America, specifically America, are under such attack as far as how they conduct themselves? You think it's just a see? Once again, we're not Nigerians, dog. We're not Somalians. We're not Eritreans. We're not Ethiopians. We're not none of that shit. We're not Sudanese. We're not from Chad. We're not from Gambia. We're not from Zambia. We're not from Mali. We're not from none of that shit. So when these people come with all these things and they say all these things to us, you must be aware. You truly do must be aware that it's a level of fuckery that can't be accepted. It can't be. You can't accept that they want you to give in and they want you to give up. The whole point of persevering and enduring is to not give up and to not give in. What good does it do for you? What you think about this right here? This is a hell of an analogy. Man goes his whole life, woman goes her whole life, believing in and on the Most High. Then in their last moment of life, they say, I don't think he's real. And that's the last thing he has to remember you by. Then when you, boom, eyes closed, and then you come to, not realizing you're about to come to a whole nother existence. He's like, see, had you just held on for one more second, you had me. You had me. I was within your grasp. I was within your reach. And you gave up at the last moment. When all the other moments you could have gave up. When all the other moments there was reason to doubt me. But in a for sure happening event that must happen, that must take place in your life, you doubted me now? You doubt me now, huh? Now you don't think I'm real anymore. Now you're wondering if God is real. Sadness is all I have to say. Sadness is all I have to give to you. Because it brings pain to my soul to think on such a level that people don't want you to ever make right with the Most High by simply saying, Father God of Creator of all things, I duly apologize for the monster, the evil, wicked thing that I have become. They have no qualms to say that. They're too proud to say that. There is no God in their mind. There's only me. I'm God in their mind. So because we're dealing with secret agent Coon, who has fucking puffed himself up on a cloud. Secret agent Coon, who is riding her magic carpet and refuses to be brought low. Yay, they are haughty. What can I say to them other than go fuck yourself? And I can't wait till you get what you got coming. What else is there to say to them? You think there's love for these people? Disdain, hatred, vitriol. Good night. Good night. Appreciate y'all. Salute. However, this is just one of those things where we are in a forever changing, forever turning table and tide of events because these people have not the mind, not the sense, not the fortitude to question what is wrong about their leaders, our so-called representatives. We shall be left behind. There's no other choice. What? So the lone wolf can be hated and then hunted down? That's the point. They want to hate the lone wolf so they can hunt him. And they want to know who the lone wolf is so that way they can target him out. This is why the Most High says, be as wise as the serpent, but as harmless as the dove. Because if you play your hand, brother or sister, what will happen? I love y'all, man. Y'all be good. And just may the Most High do what he can do for all of us. You know? Open all of our eyes, all of our minds. Y'all sleep good. Have a blessed week. I'm always happy to see y'all. I'm glad that y'all, I'm glad that everything worked out timing wise for all of us to get together though. Real talk. And that's just where I'm at, y'all. They want us to stand out like a sore thumb, stick out like a sore thumb. So I can say, there he is. There she is. Right there. So watch out. And be careful. Watch out. And be circumspect in your mind. I love it. Secret Agent Coon. aka super sellout. They're dangerous. They're dangerous. They're not to be trusted. Nope, not to be trusted. I don't trust them. I would advise that you don't trust them. It could cost you everything to trust these people. The same people that they're giving their coffers to are the same people that they'll call stupid for getting killed by the police. The same people that they'll blame you for getting killed by the police. Though you were a supporter of them or you might have donated money to their chat one time. They don't know. They don't know. Because some of these guys don't, most of these guys who donate to these people, they come up as little screen names and stuff like that. Whatever their name is. They could never know if the brother that got killed down there in Florida ever listened to a BGS Ivy Moore or a O'Shea Duke Jackson or a Professor Black Truth. They could never know that. So when they speak on these situations and to speak at it as if these brothers have never, ever once again been influenced by something that they may have said is an insult. And it hurts my soul and my feelings because these are people who are dying the gruesome, unruly deaths by people wearing which I just don't know if it was there. Like, for example, you know, none of these YouTubers, but that one boy who was living in Chicago, right, who got killed, murdered by them little fucking savages out there, them little fucking monsters. And I'm not talking about people in Chicago. I'm talking about the little pieces of shit that killed that brother. And for the most part, YouTubers they've yet to be the victims of their own work. You know, it would seem as a conspiracy almost, wouldn't it? But the conspiracy would end with it just being some crazy ass white boys or some crazy ass hating ass niggas or some crazy ass whoever's with mental health issues, right? Can you dig it? With mental health issues, on medication and all that, who gunned him down or stabbed him up or ran him over with the car or beat him to death or did whatever to him. I feel sad because these are going to be the brothers who are the ones who are affected the most. And they don't think they don't believe they're going to be drastically affected. When I tell y'all these are going to be the dudes who feel it the fucking most, they're going to feel it so hard, y'all. They're going to be the first ones because they've made it a point to align themselves with people who are going to use them as the example. These are the niggers that you thought were close to us white folk, and we're going to kill them in front of you. So you understand what we're about. That kind of shit. And then when you start to see what they're about in their head, then you're going to be like, oh, shit. They let that dude get that high up. They wanted him to get that up. They wanted him to get to that level so they could smash him the fuck down. They let you do what you do. It is by no surprise. It is by no chance of your own ability that you are doing these things. It's not. They let me do what I do. It is by no chance and by no fake ability that YouTube has not, once again, it's a blessing. I've never had anything ever flagged. Never, not once. You got to think about how huge that is. I've never had a video flagged. Nothing. So it just tells you that the powers that be, when they want to hear what you're saying, they will listen to you, regardless of what you think it is and how obscure you think it is and how nonsensical you may believe it to be. Truth of the matter is this. Truth of the matter is this. YouTube has allowed these people to become the predators among and over and to their own people. YouTube has allowed these people to reach into their coffers, and how they shame the black man into giving them money. Oh, it says here that black people spend all this money in all these businesses every year, so you should give me some of that. Now, they don't say it like that, but that's what they mean. That's exactly what they mean. Trust me, I know this for a fact. So it's disgusting. It's wicked when they try to pull that trick right there on you and say, hey, black people spend this much money every year in this industry, and they spend this much money every year in this industry. And this is black across the board. It doesn't matter if they're rich or poor. So it's like it entices the poor person to give to somebody who they feel is speaking for their people, right? Now, mind you, you got to understand, some of these guys garner, I mean, when I say garner, they garner many, many, many of views, you know, where literally they could change how black people in certain cities specifically acted and conducted themselves. They could if they wanted to. They could if they wanted to. Their voices are that impactful and that influential that if they all got together under one common accord, they could do this. But because they're all chasing the for just chasing money, filthy lucre. They're chasing filthy lucre. They're chasing the opportunity to be paid by any means necessary. How many times have they used the death of a man, of a black man, to put commercialized fucking content up on YouTube? Huh? Think about that. If white people did that, if white people did that shit, there'd be an uproar. But because they're black, they can talk about it, put commercials in the shit. They got 50,000 subs. This is a hot one. I'm going to get 250,000 views. Bam, bam, bang. YouTube going to break me off for this one. See what I'm saying? And the money's going to flow in, trickle in. And God forbid they did a live stream and this shit's going to be live streamed and then, you know, this, that, and the third. Come on, man. It's just, you got to have more sense than that. You know? I'm not saying that if you, once again, if you want to give your money to these people, that's on you. But I'm saying you can't be mad at them for never doing what it is that you think that they should do, because they're not who you think they are. You know, they're not. They're not even close. They're not even close. They're not even close to who you think they are. See, unlike these other guys who do this kind of stuff, even though I only have a few people watching or whatever, I can articulate myself with anyone. See what I'm saying? And I don't have to use references and cite. Once again, why would I cite another person who's citing another person? That fucking makes no sense. That is the dumbest shit I ever heard. I'm gonna cite Greg Schmuckatelli because he's quoting Joe Schmuckatelli. The fuck sense does that make? But neither one of these two have ever perceived or seen something that you may have made notice of or may have made known. But yet, is anybody seeking you out like that? No. So please, it's just nonsense. I just think that it's just incredibly amazing that you have this situation. I ignore people. But at the same time, I also indulge them. If a fool says, I'm a fool, I don't say, oh no, you're a genius at something, surely. I believe them. Because they know this about themselves. They know enough to know that they're a fool. If a man says he is foolish, meaning he is ishy to the ways of a fool. Sometimes I do things that a fool does, but not all the time. Once again, it is not my place to say, sir, you are not foolish. Oh, no, 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 no. You are simply ignorant. No. Okay? Because these people, whether they're foolish, a fool or not, will be tested in time. Whether they're righteous or not will be tested in time. So whether they're black or not will be tested in time. Can you fucking dig it? See, you better understand your boy is not fucking around. 0%. Zero. And I'm not scared. Unlike many of the people that I spoke about, cowards of the worst kind. And the few who, and a couple, the one or the two who may not be cowards of the worst kind. They congeal with cowards of the worst kind without ever reproaching them. You tell me who you think is dangerous. The man that says, I do undoubtedly and incredibly will be my brother's keeper, or the man who says, I know not what a keeper is. What is that? See what I'm saying? I always laugh when a man says something, well, what's this way of it being? And then they try to change everything else. It's like they manipulate everything to being in their favor. I don't have time for that. There's things that speak against directly what I say. And I'm able to use things that contradict me to support me. That's a big difference. There's a big difference in what I do. I'm able to use information that would normally hurt an argument to help it. These guys are taking arguments that can't be hurt or helped and putting them forth. See, I say argument in the sense of I know that I'm talking to people who know that an argument is one who is right and one who is wrong. So for me to put that forth means that I put it forth toward a party who is either correct or incorrect. But the thing is that I have taken things that would say that I am incorrect, taken other pieces of information that would say that I am incorrect, and used them against themselves. Not manipulating the information, taking what they say and weighing it out and saying that these two things can't add up. As my brother Roger Spice liked to say, kind of sort of an attorney, kind of sort of. Maybe not one on the books, ain't never took no bar, but oh my goodness. If you got me going to bats for you, don't worry. No information regarding the subject shall be kept from us. None. None. Be smarter than your adversary. Be wiser than your foe. Be more intelligent than your enemy. I'm saying this to you because I appreciate you. I'm saying this to you because I do love you. And it does mean a lot to me to know that black people are my people. And the people that listen to me primarily are all black people. I love it. The subs are just people who, a lot of those numbers are fluff. I should barely have over 100 subs. Most of those people who subbed are people who subbed because of a video that they thought identified with their plight, I guess. When I was just trying to bold the argument that fallen angels or whatever that is, angel DNA is can be found in black looking people who live in the Solomon Islands, Papua New Guinea. So the fact that you have people who hate black people so hate us so they hate you. They hate me and you. They hate us. So why would you sign on for people who are mixed who've called black people niggers? There's black people who hate other black people. And there's way more mixed people who hate black people. Fuck out of here. So why would you want them to be your face? And then again, why would you want a man to tell you that their women in particular are the most attractive women? You guys already know how I feel about this. Once again, I cannot stress it to you enough. But I have to bring it to you. I got to bring it to you because this dude really crossed the line. He crossed the line. He crossed the line. It's one thing for you to say that this is what a poll says. It's another thing for you to. So now you're using a poll to speak for every man in the world. Did that poll every man? It didn't poll me. They didn't ask me who I thought was the most attractive. They didn't ask me each. Okay. And what were the ages of the men? I mean, like, once again, what were the ethnicities of the men? For sure, for sure. Were these black men with beards or without? I want to know all that shit. Talking that bullshit to me and to my people about who is the most attractive. When it's clearly clear. It couldn't be more obvious. It couldn't be more clear that the most attractive people on the planet are the people who look like, well, I guess, the one who's bringing you the message. Beautiful black people. Black people. Us. The most beautiful people. I don't give a fuck what they say. I don't ride that out very often. I don't have to. I don't have to even tell people that because it's like they already know. Normally they just know that. So there's no need to stress that. But it was like I had to defend black people on a listen. The guy calls himself Black Gnostic Speech. Keyword here being black. And you have the audacity to support the claim of white people or whoever did that fucking study, as opposed to saying as a black Gnostic or a black whatever the fuck you think you are, that you know what? Check this out. This poll says this, but me as a black man and our people, we should still seek to be after black people. This dude is the same black dude who told black people not too long ago that they should be forced to have to marry an African woman so that way they have strong African culture ties. The fuck? Once again, man, people don't listen to what these dudes be saying. Nobody listens to these niggas. They just be listening to them and bobbing their fucking head and like, oh yeah, you right. You right. That's all they ever say to these guys. You right. You right. Hey man, G-check these niggas, man. G-check these niggas because they ain't right. He's not right. He's wrong, bruh. He wrong. And he wrong on many different levels. And he knows it. But because there lacks a group with the ability to confront, there lacks an individual with the Constitution to confront. You never heard of him? BGS Ivy Moore? I'm not surprised, but he's pretty well known. He's pretty well known. He ain't got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. He got like 20,000. Not a lot of people. And I would say a lot of his subs are black. What kind of black? I don't know. See, but I feel like he's an agent. You know, me and Roger Spice had this talk before, you know, but I really do feel like this dude is an agent because just his whole demeanor, his whole way of going about everything. And it's almost as if like he's one of the people who they're trying to get black people to think that amalgamation is the key. Oh, when you look for the little video or whatever, I'm only there for like not even a whole hour, maybe, because I sit inside the panel and I don't really say nothing at first. I'm just hella quiet at first, and then you know I dissent from everything that's being said. And as you know, well, when I dissent, I dissent. I do not agree. And some people can't take that. Some people can. I just know that it's a formality. You know, it's a blessing. Some of these folks don't really appreciate what we're doing. You guys are living every day and staying alive. Might not seem like that's a big deal, but it really actually is. You know what I'm saying? Huge deal. Huge deal that you're staying alive. Even bigger deal that you keep yourself out of harm's way. You can't send the link? I'll send you the link. You're funny. I'm like, nobody ever asked for the link, so there was no. I know normally I put it in there, but don't nobody ever hop on. So shit, I was like, there's no need. One moment. Damn. Damn. And if you're talking about link to BGS's video, just look for BGS IB Moore. It's his latest one. It's the August 18th or whatever the fuck it is. You know what I mean? The August 18th address. But that's my link if that's what you're talking about, Martin. I'm not sure what you mean, brother. I'm not sure, but I'm trying to follow. I am trying to follow. But these guys are the worst kind of agents. 1 second, hold on. I got you, bro. The video for this guy. Let me look for it real quick while I'm doing all this. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, so it's called the August 19th video. 1 second. Copy. Bam. Boom, bing, bang. Boom. There you go. There you go. I don't know what part I come into this shit exactly. I know I'm not there until like after midnight. So whenever he started shooting that exactly the time of day, I came in like almost 1 o'clock in the morning, you know. But anyway, it was like dude tried to shout me down. It was like weird because it was like he tried to challenge my energy. He tried to challenge my energy. Yes, he is one of the morons. Yes, he is. He has just enough so-called education to fake it. But literally though, fucking moron. And these guys, once again, these dudes make it a point to read all these books, right? Memorize all these names, all these so-called colorful, these colorful facts, but have yet to admit the condition of their people. They don't ever admit what black people are going through. They don't say, you know what, black people are actually suffering. They're like, oh no. In this sector, this is what's happening. I told y'all when I did that video over a month ago about the trash in China, I knew then. Crazy shit about to happen in China, right? You have guys like this right here, though, who they talk about trade wars and this, that, and the other. But the shit didn't pop off like they said it would. Nowhere close. Because they don't understand that you have to weigh into a situation way more than just what it is that you feel is relevant knowledge. When I gauge what black people are doing and how well they're doing, you know what I gauge it on? I gauge it on how well black people would have done before given the same circumstances in a different time. I don't gauge this on other people. I gauge this on us. So I say, yeah, Demetrius, the black man who would have been able to diddy bop around with all these white people, would he be so cautious to do so now? Once again, those black men that weren't so cautious, some of them it cost their lives. They're dead. They died an early death. Not that they wouldn't have died anyway, but they died a much earlier death than needed. And where are they at now to tell their own stories? Nowhere, they're gone. And the people who told their stories for them didn't do a good job. Let me tell you how I know that the people who told Emmett Smith's story didn't do an excellent job, because there was no litigation at all. And now they want to talk about opening up a fucking case for it. Do you know how sick that makes a person like me? This dude's been dead for fucking a lifetime. And you mean to say now, all of a sudden now there needs to be justice, huh? All of a sudden now, all these years later, a woman will finally say, oh no, he actually didn't whistle at me. Where's the since she's so old, can we just prosecute one of her grandchildren for giving motherfucking false goddamn reports? It led to this dude's death, yo. So can we charge them with murder? Right on? And inciting violence? This, that, and the third? Do we have that ability? No. Because we got dudes like Secret Agent fucking Coon telling you that, look, what you need to do is you need to try to find a way to get along with white people. That's what I pretty much hear all these guys saying. All these dudes will say shit like, oh, white supremacy this, white supremacy that, and white supremacy is so much this. But it's like, here's the thing. I never call it white supremacy, really. Punk ass white people, racist ass motherfucking white people, punk ass white people. That's my favorite one. Why would I call you a white supremacist if I think you a punk ass? That doesn't even make sense. So punk ass white people who do punk ass shit, they've been doing that forever since we've been here. They've always had an upper hand since we've been here. They, once again, the lowest, worst common denominator was sent here to fight the Indians and to generally populate the land. So the reason why you have so many poor whites now is because they come from them same genetics. The rich whites who maintain their aristocracy and their plutocracies are the same rich white motherfuckers that came here in the beginning. So when people talk all this fuckery, they don't even know what they're talking about. They don't even know what they're talking about. They have no idea. And if you think the life of an overseer wasn't better than that of a slave, you're sadly mistaken. Okay, so the slave makes whiskey or rum or whatever. We just take it from the slaves. Sure, he can make more and hide it or whatever, but we'll look for it. And if we can't find it, we'll beat that nigger down until he tells us where it's at. Or we'll do something to his woman or his children. We'll figure out a way though. See what I'm saying? So because people don't realize, oh, we'll make him our token nigger. He always gets food. He sleeps in the house, even though he's a field nigger type stuff. He sleeps in the cabin with us. He's one of us almost, because he makes that good shine. He makes that good hard drink. Fuck all that. That's nonsense. So because people can't even discern that these are two different classes of people, that the people who wanted them to make the liquor and the people who drank the liquor weren't always the same, and the people who were making the liquor damn sure the fuck weren't the same. Yet we'll tell you that a baby between the people who were making the liquor and those who were benefiting from the liquor being made will tell you that that kind of child is more attractive than the child that it took to make the people that look like that. What? Fuck is that? That didn't even make sense. You know how many times I've seen groups of girls, black women in particular, there'll be like all black women and there'll be one mixed girl. And she don't look like them. And if you look at her, you'll be like, man, she don't even look as good as them sometimes. You'll be like, damn, she's not fine. Like, and I'm like, did they pick an ugly mixed girl to hang out with, or does she just not look as good? And I might see her by herself, and I'm like, no, she's pretty. She just, when she's with them, all those recessive genetics look recessive because she's with the group of them. So now, right, what to individually may be taken as attractive when it's put in a group effort to look at. Now she's not that fine because I like people who have hair like mine. I'm like, oh yeah, she got right. She take care of her hair, right? Nice little afro or her, right? Nice little braids on her hair. Whatever, however her hair is done, and I could tell, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, she's abusing her head with hard heat. She's abusing her head with harsh chemicals. I'm cool on her. I don't want nothing to do with her. They can get mad at me all they want. But once again, that's how it is. If a black woman is going to tell me that her babies that were made with a white man look better than black people, she's sadly mistaken. They look sickly sometimes. A lot of the times they look sickly, to be perfectly honest with you. They look weak and recessive. And they always look like they're looking for approval. Almost all mixed people always look like they're looking for approval. I don't give a fuck what you tell me. I see a lot of them, so I know what I'm talking about. They are always looking for approval. Why? I have no idea. I have not a clue what they're looking for and why they need you or me to confirm that. Maybe it's because they need you to say, because you're actually black, right? They need you to say that they're black. Because around all these other people, they get to say, yeah, I'm black. But when they get around you, all that shit stops because you're the real McCoy. Right. When they're with a bunch of black people and they get to say, oh, well, shit, I'm white too also. But they get around white people, right? The white people are the real McCoy. So they can't say that stupid shit no more. And this is what happens to them, is that they end up in these situations, right, where they're seeking approval from either side. So what this man tried to do, Super Agent Coon, said, look, these people are more attractive than our women. If you don't understand what kind of whistles, that's a dog whistle for go after the mixed girls. That's a dog whistle for that. Who don't want to hear the truth? Who can't take that? A lot of people can't take it, but that's word is bond. Word is bond. Man, y'all. Well, I sit here because I'm pumped. I don't know why I'm so amped up right now, but I'm geeked up. Like because I just love the whole idea of this, that this dude he has all these people under his damn thumbnail. And he's able to to paint the picture as if he did nothing. It's an insult to a black man to be told that he is he is not a he is not a what's the word uh 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 give me one moment. I'm reading this paperwork that I'm for court. Anyway, black people. This man said out of his mouth that mixed people are more attractive than our own people. And when I tried to say that black people were the most exotic people, he's a black man. He should have some pride in himself. He has so little pride in being a black man, he would rather say that mixed people are more exotic. Why would you say that? Why would you say that, dog? Like, why would you say that? They're only exotic because so what? Arabs and Chinese haven't been making mixed people. I'm talking about white looking Arabs and Chinese haven't been making babies for forever. Ain't nobody going crazy over them. It's the admixture of the black blood and the specific Negro blood, the Semite, Hamite, Japhetite blood, the true ones, those people who make these beautiful looking individuals that everybody be fawning over. I don't fawn over them. Not anymore. I used to think that they were really, really pretty, but these days I see them and I just see like recessive genetics, and it's not the light skin because there's a lot of mixed people who are dark. So, yeah, that's just how I feel. That's just where I come from on it. That's how I stand about this shit. Is that I will never allow for a person to tell me that they believe that somebody who comes from us is more attractive than us. And I showed y'all the picture earlier of the little mixed looking dude and then of the brother. Obviously, it's for a woman to say who she thinks is more attractive. And the chick could be like, oh, he could have picked another different kind of brother. No, I picked a brother who had the feature of green eyes, different colored eyes, right on. I didn't want to just pick a brother who was just brown skin and just clearly better looking than this guy. Because then what's the point of doing that? Right. It's stupid. So the whole point is just like when people try to say that these people are better looking or more attractive, I'm like, to what degree? Who is determining this for us? If you're determining that for yourself, then that's one thing. But if you're determining that for another individual, then you need to let that individual speak to that degree. Because I'm not going to say to you what it is that I've seen out of my two eyes and then make it seem as if what I've seen out of my two eyes is what's true for the entire world. But it's true for the world of Demetrius. It's true in my reality. What I exist or where I exist and how I live, this is what's real for me. So because I am of an age where I can make a decision in my mind and say, you know what, this is what it is. People can feel however they want to feel, but that's the truth. Why would I look at somebody who has an admixture of dominant and recessive genetics and think that they're more dominant or have a more dominant attraction than the people that have dominant genetics? It's unthinkable. It's unreal. It's unforeseeable. Now you're ready to close out. Smoke the rest of my little bowl with you real quick. We've got till I finish this out, and then I'm done. The problem is this. One, I don't think this dude is really black. I think he's got some kind of like white ancestry fraternally on his, you know what I mean? Like meaning that the men in his family, I believe, somewhere go back to being white people. And I don't think it's very long ago. Number two is that he has a panel full of people who are capable of thought, some of them of the deeper levels of thought, who have the bad habit of being intellectually dishonest, and it's ever present, evermore. The further along we get into this Donald Trump presidency, the more contradictions of predictions that I hear, then the more that I will understand that it is that these people are doing or are trying to do. You can only tell me you don't mean to do harm to me for so long until I believe or I see in my mind, and I can only perceive that the only logical thing is you mean to do harm to me. You see what I'm saying? So I will I will keep in my mind that yes, these are all individuals who have their own minds. Yes, that's fine. But these are also individuals who have taken it upon themselves to align themselves more so than not with this man and his thought process. And that right there is what you have to be concerned with, is because none of the people on that panel, not one of them, when I say not one of them other than myself, was willing to say that black people are the most exotic. I went there. I took it there. I don't care. I don't care. And I told y'all earlier, like I said earlier, there was a time when I used to believe that, yeah, mixed people did get, better genetics, or must have had them because they got treated better by, most groups all around. They're the only people that I can think of that can grow, that can go and intermingle in all these different groups, and people normally will accept them. Normally, maybe not as one of their own, but they will accept them. So that's one of the things where I always used to be like, man, they must be better off. But as you get older and you realize that it's just a social thing, because once again, it's a matter of how comfortable people are, and black people like it because this might be the closest that they get to being around a white person, and white people like it because this might be the closest they get to being around a black person. And this is the fucking truth. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. A lot of people don't want to have that thing addressed, but that's what it is, yo. So until we have people who can just say what it is on a basic level, and these dudes don't even address it on the basic level, they make everything a scholarly argument. And it's like, everything's not so scholarly, dog. Some things are just physical base, and they need to be approached in a base manner. That's it. However, I'm not getting tired, but my bowl is coming to an end. So I'm going to take this last little rip, and then I'm going to share whatever I got on my mind with you. Something probably off topic. Then I'm out. Let's go. Don't be secret agent coon. If you feel yourself giving in to the evil, wicked desire of telling your people that other people are smarter than your people, that other people are better than your people, please check yourself. Go ahead and do a cup check. Go ahead and do a cup check, gentlemen. And ladies, you do whatever y'all do. You know what I mean? But check yourself. Because that ain't cool. That is not cool. That is not, when I say, like, it is so unkosher for you to want to argue something that diminishes your people. Anything that once again, what is that? If it's not white supremacy, what is that then? When you diminish black people for a subgroup of black people who wish they were black, the fuck is that? Right. That's my point. So please keep it in mind that these people don't mean you no good. They only mean you harm. They only mean you evil. These dudes are wicked. I got nothing good to say about them, for the most part. And the few, once again, who are wicked, they congeal with the wicked. And they love it and such. And they love it. I will not do that. I will not congeal with the wicked, nor will I be bothered by them. Don't forget, once again, that this is what Super Coon is after. We end on this picture, on this note. Let me just find it one more time real quick. Because this is what they want you to think is the most important thing going on. They want you to believe that this is what it is that we fought for. This is what it is that you are. And as long as you believe that this bullshit right here stands true, reigns true, and it's something that you should take serious, we're fucked. This right here. Can't stress it to you enough. Pan African. Look at it right there. That I cannot stress enough, my people. That is the wickedness that is going to end us. That is what's going to put us down. Good night. I salute you. Have a blessed week. Peace out.